Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us in this journey for as little as $9 a month, the information is available in the description below. In today's video I'm going to be doing an update on XML MMTLP, and the focus is going to be some developments and updates with regard to the Seeking Alpha article. We're also going to be providing some updates from David and William, and also looking at some short interest data. So before we do that, let's quickly have a look at what's happening in the market. So quick headline here, the stocks have kicked off the week with a rally after a significant sell-off in the previous week. In terms of what Morgan Stanley have said, they have said that the US stocks can gain in the short term. So this is good news, this is positive, and people who have been buying the dip are certainly going to have more upside than downside. So that's certainly positive. So let's have a look at the heat map. At time of editing we can see here clean sweep of green. So most stocks were significantly up. One of the stocks that I did call in the Discord at a great price of $205 is Tesla. So that was up 6%. So congratulations to everybody who got into Tesla. So a good recovery there. And one other final bit of information I'd like to share with you is with regard to Nancy Pelosi. There has been a development here, so I think this is very important for anybody who would like to follow what she is doing. So there is some news today, and what Nancy has done here is her husband, has bought at least $1 million worth of shares in Alphabet days before the House leadership proposed a congregational stock trading ban. So I'm sure Nancy will say this is coincidental, but I'm sure we all know what happened coincidentally with Nvidia as well. So if anybody is looking for potentially good news with Alphabet, if Nancy's in there, maybe there is money to be made. So let's start by having a look at the chart for MMTLP, and at time of editing it was trading fairly flat around about the $4 mark, trading a little bit up and a little bit down. So at time of editing it was $3.98. I believe it's now just closed at $3.91. So not much volatility today, but if we have a look at the 5-day chart on the screen here, we can see at one point this was up approximately $7.51. Strong sell-off after that, strong short attacks. But let's have a look at the latest data with regard to the borrowed shares. So if we have a look at the screen here, at one point the cost to borrow was 33.5%, with in excess of 1.1 million shares available. So I'm going to now give a shout out to Mark Twain. First of all, what he said here is with regard to this data, look at the borrowed share, they've not stopped over 20 million now. Compared to that to previous days, this is insane. And the rate today has gone up quite significantly, so we're looking at 33%. I think it did come down a little bit after that. And follow up tweet from Mark here, he says shorts borrowed more shares, highest ever MMTLP short borrow fee. So that was 33.5%. Before, shorts have also borrowed 14.1 million shares today as at the 17th of October 2022. So the game is certainly becoming very interesting. The next thing I'd like to update is with regard to David and William. So if you remember my previous videos where I shared with you information about the second and the third largest holders of MMTLP after Greg. So first we have an update here from David. So David has shared a post here. So let's have a quick look at what he shared, and he stated here, for your information, he's received 2 phone calls from Fidelity. One from Fidelity, the other from Schwab, and both were asking him with regard to what he was going to do with his MMTLP shares. So the purpose of this, first of all, what David would like to say is these are spread over 18 different companies. Could be in cash accounts and also IRAs, and his reply was, why do you want to know? So what the company have said is they were looking at lending his shares, and obviously the positive response from David here is absolutely not there. And then they were asked what he was going to do. So with regard to Fidelity, he told them he was going to transfer all the shares to NextBridge. So that's the message there from David. So the response back from the broker was why, and they said, why would I transfer shares when I can have tax-free returns that also give me perpetual dividends in another company. So he's saying here the brokers were not happy. So we're looking at with 1.8 million shares that I have in a Schwab account. Same scenario. They've asked why would they do that, and the second one asked, instead of transferring them, put them up for sale at $315. So he's saying in terms of message to get out, that the brokers are scared. For the sakes of you, they are looking for people who are willing to sell them, but I'm sure if you've not had a call from a broker, but obviously David has had a call, but one of the reasons why he may have had a call is because of the significant amount of shares that he's holding. So a number of people have stated, why are these not being declared officially in the SEC forms? So there is a response here from David, and he said, in response to people who said why are they not associated with the 5% declaration, this is because the accounts are spread over 18 companies and not one of them has over 5%. So I hope that answers everybody who was questioning this. And finally, a quick update from William. He stated here, as the second largest investor, he's just bought in excess of, approximately 80,000 shares to get his total approximately 16.45 million. So he's also said here, lots of day traders and desperate shorts are in the game. And TD Ameritrade, who he's with, have allowed him to place a $300 sale limit order as of the 13th of October 2022. They wouldn't allow that rules unless a squeeze is possible. So that's what he's saying here. He's also saying here the play is based on the value of assets. These value of assets could certainly be leading to life-changing wealth. What I'd now like to do is provide an update with regard to the Seeking Alpha article. I have been in correspondence with the author, and we have been sharing some information. I think we both do disagree, so I'm going to share with you some of the correspondence, and we're going to see if responses have been appropriate. So add in the comments below if you think we could add in some further information to counter his arguments, which I'm going to classify as FUD. So first of all, he was quite skeptical about assets being proven. So he's also now acknowledged that there is oil and gas, but I did point out to him here on his Seeking Alpha page, he said no acquirer is going to pay hundreds of millions of dollars based on a bunch of well logs. So that's all he said, and he's not added anything else. So that is implying that he's suggesting there that the company are just looking to get millions or billions of dollars on a bunch of well logs. So he's failed to disclose here that the sale is also for oil and gas assets, which I think was critical. So he's not mentioned it there, but he did acknowledge that he's now accepts that is oil and gas assets. So replying to him here, thank you for acknowledging that there are an estimated 3.2 billion barrels of oil, potential trillions of barrels of cubic feet of gas, I think possibly in excess of 6 trillion. And also you stated that there's no buyer would pay billions of logs. You forgot to mention there in that comment. So could you say why? So he didn't respond to that, but let's now have a look at what he did say. He's saying is that a vast gulf between some oil and gas and 3.2 billion barrels of oil that is recoverable with similar well level economics to core Midland Delaware Basin wells, which is what the acquirers will pay for. The former is true, the latter I am very skeptical about. So what the author is basically saying, he wants to not have 100% proof of exactly how much oil there is, 100% proof of how much exactly gas there is. That's not possible, but that's what he wants. So what I have said here is, what we do have here is confirmation here, contrary to your opinion, that the oil is proven and recoverable. These are not my words, these are words with an article I'm going to be sharing with you in a minute. And I've also said here, Rich Patterson is regarded as a brilliant geologist, and I'm sure he knows more than me, and I'm sure he knows more than you. So let's have a quick look at the article I shared with the author, and the statement here is Oil and Gas Explorer proves up exciting measures oil and gas production from the Oregando Basin project. So he did dispute that the fact that there is no statement with regard to proving oil, so that it does say that in this article here. So I'm not saying that, the article is saying that. I think he still has some disputes over that. And what I also shared with him here, if you see in the highlighted area, in the same article, along with a third-party representative estimate of 3.678 billion barrels of in recovery potential from unconventional zones. So he disputed that it was recoverable, but it states that in the article here. And also what I would like to clarify for the author is consulting geologist Rich Matheson is a recognised Permian Basin expert. He's also a brilliant geologist. And what I would also say is in terms of this estimate of 3.6 billion barrels of oil, it could be 4, it could be 3.2, it could be a little bit less, because it's an estimate. That this estimate's from a third party, not from the company, from a third party. What I'd now like to do is give a shout out here to Cable on StockTwits. He's posted an excellent report with due diligence and research with regard to MMTLP and the short squeeze, so go ahead and check this out. You can find the link by searching CAEBLE, and the link is available on the Twitter feed for myself, so please go ahead and check this out. And finally, I'd like to finish off by giving a shout out to our weekly watch list. This is shared in advance of trading on a Monday with the Discord members exclusively. So some of the stocks that we called out included MMTLP, FNGR, PEGY, EDTX, amongst others. Not all calls are successful, but these were some of the good ones. So MMTLP was up in excess of 43% on the week. At one point, it was up in excess of 151%. And the vast majority of people are still holding this, hopefully for some potential more significant gains. So we also called out FNGR. This was up approximately 26 to 30% Monday to Friday. Late on Friday there was a little bit of a sell-off and it did come down significantly, so that also indicates the importance of taking profits and also protecting your profits with a stop loss. We also called out PEGY. This was a great call as well. At one point this was up in excess of 121%, and also closed up in excess of 75%, so check out PEGY. EDTX was also up in excess of 1%, and there were also many other calls as well. So to get the next weekly watch list, and as well as that daily stock alerts, you can certainly consider joining us, which will give you access to live trading discussions as well as a challenge. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.